Good evening and welcome to TV16 News Live at 5. I'm Amy Murray.
And I'm Matt Dobson. Tonight, Harding hosts former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice.
And Cersei celebrates the return of Yarnell's Ice Cream Company.
We'll have all that and more, but first your TV16 News starts right now.
Former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice is speaking in the Benson Auditorium tonight at 7:30. Her topic is looking back and moving forward to a stronger America. Rice is a professor of political economics in the Graduate School of Business and professor of political science at Stanford University. She became the 66th Secretary of State of the United States in January 2005 after serving as the President's National Security Advisor for 4 years. TV16 caught up with the Executive Director of ASI, Bob Reilly, to talk about Rice's upcoming speech at Harding.
She feels like the world changed when 9/11 occurred, but then the world changed when
A Lonoke County deputy shot and killed a man who reportedly struck a patrol car with a large piece of metal. Arkansas State Police say a man was standing along Arkansas Highway 294 between Jacksonville and Furlough this morning when the Lonoke County deputy arrived. The man was swinging a piece of iron railing and then began striking the side of the patrol car. The deputy opened fire and killed the man. The case will be turned over to the prosecuting attorney to determine whether any charges should be filed. The Benton Police Department is searching for suspects involved in a pharmacy burglary. Officers responded to the Westside Pharmacy at around 6:30 a.m. yesterday after receiving a call about a burglary. A witness reported hearing the sound of glass breaking and saw a black Jeep pulling away from the front of the business. Police discovered that the suspects broke in through the front glass of the pharmacy and stole an undetermined amount of medicine. Anyone with information about the incident is encouraged to contact the Benton Police Department.
Governor Mike Beebe says State Surgeon General Joe Thompson's confrontation with police is a personal matter and he will not discipline the health officer. Beebe made the decision after reviewing audio and video of the encounter, which led to Thompson's arrest. Thompson was arrested March 31st after a confrontation with a private security guard outside his home. It escalated into a shouting match with 2 police officers called to Thompson's residence. And according to the U.S. Census Bureau, Faulkner County has been named one of the 100 fastest growing counties in the nation. The county ranks 73rd amongst more than 2,500 counties with more than 10,000 residents. Faulkner County's 2010 population was over 113,000. County Judge Preston Scroggins said that while growth is nothing new to Faulkner County, growth during tough economic times is still something to celebrate.
If you have old electronics lying around, now is a good time to get rid of them. Regional Recycling is holding its biannual electronics recycling event. The general manager of Goldman Recycling, John Boone, says they have seen a good turnout so far and just about anything electronic can be reused. Regional Recycling uses grant money to offer this service at no charge. This saves businesses a considerable amount of money because the price is usually per item. The event wraps up today at the Verizon Arena in North Little Rock.
Governor Mike Beebe joined Yarnell's officials this morning to celebrate the return of the Arkansas-based ice cream company. The Cersei-based ice cream producer laid off 200 workers and halted production in June after nearly 80 years of business. The company was acquired by Chicago snack food supplier Schultz & Birch Biscuit earlier this year for $1.3 million. The company reopened the Yarnell's plant and is using original recipes and some former employees.
Coming up, scandal leads to 3 Secret Service members resigning.
And NATO discusses their new plan for post-conflict Afghanistan.
But first, let's take a quick look at the weather with Joshua Cole-Little. Josh?
Thanks, guys. Taking a quick look at the almanac today. We've been sitting right kind of... Welcome back to TV16. I'm Joshua Cole-Little with a look at your TV16 weather forecast. We're looking at some mostly clear skies.
Thanks, Josh. Today marks the 17th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. On April 19, 1995, a bomb exploded at the Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City. The blast killed 168 people and wounded more than 500. Today, Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin took part in the ceremony to honor the victims.
168 lives.
2 Americans, Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols, were convicted in charges related to the attack. McVeigh was executed in 2001 and Nichols is serving life in prison.
Florida's Governor Rick Scott has announced a new task force which will consider whether changes should be made to the state's Stand Your Ground law, which allows people to use deadly force anywhere they feel a reasonable threat of death or serious injury. Steve Kassenbaum reports.
Less than 2 months after unarmed teen Trayvon Martin.
3 Secret Service members resigned after a prostitution scandal in Colombia ahead of President Obama's visit last week. More resignations are expected soon. A review board will likely be created to determine if the scandal is an isolated incident or part of the agency's culture. CNN has more.
We've all heard the terms now, wheels up, rings off, that this is cultural. Are you worried about that?
I'm hoping that it's not.
A total of 11 Secret Service agents are accused of bringing as many as 20 prostitutes back to their hotels in Cartagena. And a new mission and a new role for NATO in Afghanistan after 2014. NATO ministers are wrapping up a 2-day meeting in Brussels where they've been discussing their strategy for military withdrawal from the war-torn country. But Afghan President Hamid Karzai is now calling for an accelerated handover from NATO forces in the wake of the latest scandal involving U.S. troops. Karzai condemned photos showing U.S. soldiers posing with the bodies of suspected Afghan insurgents.
A week into Syria's ceasefire, the head of UN says the Syrian government has not done enough to stop the violence.
The situation remains highly precarious.
Ban Ki-moon is calling for the observer mission to be expanded to 300 monitors. An opposition group says troops killed at least 17 people today.
So, Marshall, I hear the women's golf team's been doing well.
Women's golf team was good. I met up with them yesterday after they won the championship on Tuesday. We'll have that coming up and more. Stay with us right around the break. The Harding women's golf team brought back some hardware from Hot Springs Tuesday. The Lady Bisons took home the Great American Conference Championship trophy. I caught up with them yesterday at their hangout spot, River Oaks Country Club, for a little golf chat. That's going to wrap it up for sports today. We're going to head back to the desk and see what Amy has coming up for us after the break. Amy?
Thanks, Marshall. A car drives into a store packed with people, sailors stranded off the Chicago coast, and a painting penguin. Stay with us. The video that will have you talking is coming up now, and take a look at this.
Take a look at
I'm Joshua Cole Little with one last look at your TV16 weather. Tonight we are looking at a low of about 52 degrees. It'll be a little bit cooler, especially as we head on into tomorrow. There'll be a slight, but as we head on to the beginning of next week, it'll be looking very nice and sunny out there.
Well, that's pretty cool that you were able to sit down and talk to Andrew Luck.
Yeah, it was a good time. Also, coming up in sports on Friday, we have tennis at 9. The women's are down in Ouachita Baptist. That's going to be at 9 in the morning. We also have the men's at 12:15, so keep looking for that.
Well, thanks for joining us here at TV16's Live at 5. For all your news, sports, and weather, keep it here.
From all of us here at TV16, have a great night.